Okay, this is a sort of overall look at this model diesel engine starter as it is at the moment. Now I think it's probably certainly does need a bit of tweaking still. I'll show you it. I never remember which way to wind it up. Wind it up this way, and it latches on like a pawl thing here. See that springing in and out. Sometimes this is one thing that needs possibly modifying. I need to do a lot more testing of this. Sometimes this sticks and jams in a way, so it doesn't go all the way forward into the teeth of the ratchet inside. I can wind that up. As you see, might even see in here, you might see the ratchet, and then I pull the lever, and when I pull the lever it has like this part here that comes up and should lock in here. That's another issue, but I'll show you that just now. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lot of power in there, and see that has locked, so it's locked the ratchet out the way. That's so that the ratchet doesn't accidentally go forward and bang against the teeth in here as it's turning, because I found that even after I think I did it at 100% PLA, that it could break the teeth off. But this button here has been pressed down. Been pressed down quite a bit, and it should be sticking up a bit more. I found that the spring, there's like a concertina spring in here of plastic, of PLA, that it's stopped in position and it's not springing up. So what I was thinking of doing is annealing that. Well, bending it into position, heating it up in some hot water, then quenching it. That seems to be the recommended method. I'll put a video about this down here in the description. I don't think I can put animations on videos anymore. YouTube. Anyway, and I'll try and bend that into position. I'll talk a bit about that as I do it. But then you can press that. That releases this sort of ratchet back on so that you can wind it up again. So the idea is you wind it up. You can wind it up quite a bit more than I'm doing here. Put it on a model diesel engine. This is a proper model diesel engine sort of starter rubber. This can come out and go in if you need to choose. Pull it all the way so that certainly locks on this mechanism here. Well, and that should start up the model diesel engine. Release it, wind it up again. So there's no need for batteries looking about with electric starters, which are probably just not far off the same size as this, or can be, or even bigger I think. And that's a look at it now. So I'm going to see about annealing this like button thing here. Hopefully that I'll be able to like form it into, get this button back up a bit higher. I also found, while I'm talking about that, this button, is that sometimes this button will rub against the top of here when it is sprung up, when it does spring properly, and that causes friction, and then it's a bit hard to move up and down, and it needs to move up and down quite freely at the beginning here, so that the ratchet inside here, there's teeth inside here, can move this up and down, and it will spring. There's a little metal spring in there. There's a concertina spring on the actual button, but there's a metal spring pushing it forward, small metal spring. Just do this once more and show you from a different angle. Quite often I'll turn the body. So it's got this like finger plate to try and keep your fingers behind. Right, are we ready? Should I do almost as spot on from the front? Ooh. Awful lot of torque in that. I can feel it in my other hand. It's almost really powerful, and that's probably not fully wound up. I'll show you about annealing this in hot water just now. this is a part that's caused me big problems. So I have a concertina type spring there, and it does work, it does bounce back. But when I've been pressing this down, particularly when I put some graphite grease on this to try and grind it into the part, it's bent it down almost permanent, and now it won't spring up high enough. I can bend it up a bit. So what I tend to do is do some heat treatment of this. This is PLA. I've got a tin of hot water here, just out the tap, about 80 degrees. I'm going to turn that on actually because I want it boiling. And I've also got a tin of cold water. So the idea here is to dip it in here for about 5 minutes and dip it straight into the cold water to cool it down. And the way I'm also going to use this is just it's a stylus I think I got from Poundland, like a pound shop, Dollar Tree. The thing's broken off, but that doesn't matter. I'm going to wedge that in there, and I actually can turn it round so that positions this button a bit higher. See how higher up it is there? I'll take it out, push it in, take it out, push it in. So you can get an idea. I'll push it in even further actually. I'll do that off camera because my fingers are a bit wet and it's a bit slippy. Well, I might do it on camera actually. So I'm going to actually put this into this cloth, this plastic part, and well, we'll see how it goes. If it destroys it, it's not too bad. It's quite a smallish part, so it won't take too long to print, about an hour or so. Okay. I'll try to keep this in camera as much as I can. I'll let this boil first and then I'll come back. So that's wedged that button up, and I'm hoping that when well actually I probably won't need this cloth. The idea was put in this cloth and dip it in there and then dip it in the cold water, but actually that's in there firm enough to hold that, I think, in position, so I can dip it in the hot water like that and then move it round and dip it in the cold water. Let me take this off the here because I can move a little bit closer, I think. Okay, so I'll come back when this is boiling, just on the gas ring here. Well, actually what I've done, I've turned this on its side in a way, this bump that was on there, and pushed it further in because it's in further. It's lifted this button higher up. So I'm going to hope that when I anneal it, it'll stay pretty much in that position and not bend down, and the annealing itself will make the springs stronger. Well, only one way to find out is to do it. Just starting to boil now. Right, it's boiling now. Pretty much, so that says 100 degrees centigrade. Now it's usually recommended about 80 degrees for PLA. I'm going to move this tin over. This is the cold water, so that's a bit closer, so that you can see a bit better, and so that's easier. Right, I'm going to give this 5 minutes. I don't know what this material is made out of, this stick. I hope that doesn't bend. So starting now, I'm giving this 5 minutes, putting it in the water. Oh, it's sunk down. Oh no. Just get me a spoon. Wife will kill me for this. I'm going to stir it round and round. I can do with this object, so it's slipped off that part, so I'm turning it and stirring it round and round to keep it off from touching the actual tin bottom, because that will melt it. I have to keep an idea of the time here as well. Stirring it quite vigorously. It's boiling quite vigorously now. Turn down the gas a little bit. It's boiling quite well there. So I'm having to do this. So I'm going to give that a few minutes, and I'll try and fish it out with this spoon, or I'll have to get something. Now the problem here is that Yes, it's almost, it's certainly, it's bending up like that. It's opening up that spring. Now doing this can shrink the part, at least in one direction, and I think maximise it in another. I think that's enough. That's been about 2 minutes. Can you see that? Go and pop it straight in the cold water down here. Stir it around for a few minutes. Turn the gas off on that other one. Shouldn't take too long to cool down. Yeah, that's cool. And it certainly made the spring come up quite high there. I don't know if it feels any difference. I'm going to try this in the part as it is. I might want to do this, repeat this again. Actually, maybe, see it's white on there. Is that white? That usually indicates a strain. Can you see that white there? Yeah, I think all the springs are taking some of the force, you know, it's not just that one. It's probably mainly that spring there, but this one here, this loop here, is also taking some of the energy. Let's see if I press that quite far down. Sorry, this is going out. I'm having problems with keeping this in the camera. I'm quite worried about that whitish mark there, because that usually indicates like a strain in the plastic. I'll show you underneath. I don't know if I can get that in. This has had graphite grease put on. That's why it's got these black bits on, like grinding paste. I was trying to grind it into the part that goes in because it was sticking a bit. Okay, I'll put this back together and we'll see how well it does. So the idea there, pop it in some boiling water for, I only used 2 minutes there, and then straight into cold water to quench it. Obviously you might want to dry this. Okay, I partly put it together as you see, and if you ask me, it's wet. It's doing this, like this button that's springing up, it's rubbing against the top here, or inside here, and causing some friction. So, although there's a metal spring on there, see I'm pushing that up and it's not enough to push it forward. I don't really want to put too much of a strong spring on there. Also, it's still not clipping up. I would have liked it to come just a little bit higher than that it is now. It's about level with it. See, when I press it down, I'm going to push it. I'll try and press it down without pushing it forward. And nothing really. It's only if I almost push it forward that the pawl goes forward. And this pawl, as I say, should spring up and down, which it was done before. So I think this concertina type spring I showed you, whether it's annealed or not, is not really going to be ideal. I'll have to think about some other way of doing it. That might have to be almost totally different. So I just thought this is like an update of this model diesel engine starter. Okay.